Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the meaning and definition of child psychology and also the value of child psychology in education. So now let us first discuss about the meaning and definition of child psychology. Child psychology, as is evident by its nomenclature, is the psychology of child. As we all know, psychology is the study of human behavior. The word psychology is taken out from the two Greek words psyche and logos. Psyche means study of, and logos means soul. So the literary meaning of psychology is a study of soul. But soul cannot be seen, cannot be observed, and it cannot be studied. So it is changed into behavior, because behavior can be seen, can be observed, and it can be studied. So now we have psychology as the study of human behavior. In psychology, there are many branches of psychology, like general psychology, physiological psychology, clinical, abnormal, social, animal, child psychology, so on and so forth. So, child psychology is one of the branches of psychology. And there are 4 stages of human development. There are 4 stages of development in child psychology. The first one is prenatal stage. The second one is infancy, and the third one is childhood, and the fourth one is adolescent. So in child psychology, between birth and early adolescent in a human's life is called childhood. It is in this part of this development that a man is called a child. This is a very crucial period. Future life depends upon during childhood, and growth and development are rapid during this stage. It is also important to note that development begins when the child is still in his mother's womb, and therefore the study of prenatal stage becomes important. The study of prenatal stage becomes important. Hence, when we say that child psychology is the study of a child, we hint at the study of the human being from the moment of conception to the time when he enters the adolescent period. One of the most important facts that emerges from the study of this development is that it is during this period that the foundation of later adult life are laid. It is an age of growth, periods of all kinds of development and growth. In the words of Crow and Crow, here the first crow is Lester D. Crow, and the other one is Alice Crow. They are commonly known as Crow and Crow. So according to them, child psychology is the scientific study of an individual from his prenatal beginnings through the early stages of adolescent development. So In brief, we can say that child psychology is a positive science which studies the behavior of the child in the context of his environment, treating him as an individual. So, child psychology studies the inner and outer activities through the organization of which the child becomes adjusted to his world. In other words, that branch of psychology which attempts to study the physical and mental activity of the human being from the moment of conception to birth and various stages of birth is called child psychology. So, to understand the physical and mental growth of the child from the moment of conception to birth and to post-birth, one has to study the various aspects of child psychology. And that is about the meaning and definition of child psychology. Child psychology deals with the growth and development of the child's personality from the moment of conception till adolescence. Now, let us discuss about the value of child psychology in education. These days, all modern psychologists stress the need of acquainting with child psychology, especially for the teacher, as the teacher can derive many benefits from the knowledge of child psychology. So let us discuss these benefits one by one. Firstly, a teacher who knows the psychology of children understand the student better than those who do not know the psychology of children. A teacher who knows the psychology of children is aware of the fact that the child's defects lies in the incomplete fulfillment of his physical, social, and psychological needs. Such knowledge helps the teacher to know the interest, nature, intelligence, and individual differences of his students so that he can adjust the curriculum and mode of teaching to their requirements. Secondly, there is an improvement in teaching methods, as child psychology brought a revolution in modern educational methods. Children are taught to be disciplined by psychological methods, not by force. And teaching becomes more scientific, easier, and goal-directed. Child psychology gives the teacher information about the processes of learning, methods of teaching important factors, conditions which help or impede the process of education, the process of learning, allowing the teacher to make use of this information in his teaching. Thirdly, child psychology has laid stress on the activities like games, camps, picnics, dancing, and other extracurricular activities. Thus, education becomes an interesting process and develops various facts of the child's personality. The curriculum of a school should be based on the individual differences of the students their motives, the values, and the principles of learning, all of which can be known only through the study of child psychology. In deciding the subjects to be taught, all the important things about the students should be taken into consideration. Thus, knowledge of child psychology is useful for making improvements in curriculum. And fourthly, evaluation and testing is a must in any educational process. Evaluation and testing are constantly required in the process of education for the teacher as well as for the students, to know that how far they have progressed and how to improve their performances. But neither can be efficiently performed if the teacher is not aware of the principles of child psychology. Fifthly, many problems are created in the classroom by the relations between the teacher and the individual students, the mental abilities of the students, and the fact of their being backward, etc., etc. Child psychology can assist the teacher in tackling such problems, as it can be solved only by psychological method. Sixthly, generally, order and discipline in an institution depends upon the extent to which rules and regulations are applying in the institutions are psychological, and the extent to which the teacher makes use of these psychological devices. But if the teacher is unaware of the principles of child psychology, he will not be able to solve the problems of his students and will fail to induce order and discipline among them. And lastly, the seventh point, basically the relations between the teacher and the taught are psychological. So if the teacher and the principal of an institution wish to maintain cordial relations with their students, it is an essential to be clever and understanding. Child psychology can provide many hints towards such an understanding. So from what we have discussed, it is clear that knowledge of child psychology is useful for the teacher in educating the children. So, my dear students, if you have any problems on the topics we have discussed today, you please visit our college website.